Irish Football Pod. We are a quarter of the way through the season somehow already. Here we are, 2-2. Connor, what do you think? What's your opening thoughts?
Opening thoughts are not where we want to be, but everything is still in front of us. With that being said, it's play by play and game by game. You got to win out to make the playoffs, and if you go down another game, you're not going to be in it. So it's a do or die. Again, it's play by play, but game by game. So right now, you can't get ahead of yourself. You have to be confident that the team is making the certain changes that it needs to take place. And this past week, Arkansas it definitely made some strides. Obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, where the main concern has been for the first 4 weeks of football.
Yeah, dropping the first two it's obviously disheartening, and we didn't think we would do that. I think we always knew it was possible. Looking at the beginning of the season before we rolled the ball out there to play, I don't think anybody would have thought that the defense would have slid as far as it did to start. But we also have to realize we played two, up to this point, top 6 teams in the country as it stands after week 5. So, for us to sit here and kind of be discouraged, I think that does a disservice to the program, to the roster, to the staff. We lost 2 hard-fought games. Of course, we didn't want that to happen. Nobody did. But the team is rebounding nicely. We got a couple nice wins here. Purdue was a little shaky defensively, but going into the Arkansas game, they were a top 5 offense, scoring 40-plus points a game. They put up a lot of points on Ole Miss, a week or two prior. So for us to have that type of performance, it's exactly what Notre Dame needed to build some momentum to try to rattle off 10 in a row to give ourselves a shot. So for us to go down to Fayetteville, play an SEC team on the road, and have the type of performance that we did, I just think that in itself kind of shows the mentality and just where the program is. I think the program is in a good spot, and it's still trending up, but a lot is going to come down to these next 8 games.
Yeah, I agree. And it's with the first 2 games, it wasn't 20-point loss in both, so 40 points combined. It was 4. So it very tough losses both games, but everything's still in front of you. With that said, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, so man, this team has showed improvement. I really saw it in that second half of Purdue because we were there live. Definitely made some changes. I don't know what it was, but from that second half on, carried on to the Arkansas game, definitely some improvement, more consistency, less of thinking of the play when the ball is snapped instead of just instincts and going to make a play. So if we can get that mentality back, it just seemed like the first couple games we would get a defensive play call, and we'd be worried about the play call rather than just go and make a play. So I think that's really trending to where we want it to go, and if we can sustain that in the next couple games, sky's the limit.
Yeah,
and it goes to the offense too. Like credit to the offense, they've really put our team in a position to win every game. But with learning Ash's new scheme and just a couple different things, it's again everybody in today's world wants perfection, and it's not going to be that way. So it was unfortunate that the first 2 games of the season were some of the hardest on our schedule. So that's the way it lined up. It's not an excuse. That's just what it was. So
yeah, dude. And after the dust has settled, we're a quarter of the way through. This next 3-game stretch, I really think has shaped up to be the most critical for the season. We're 2-2. We're basically at a 0-0 record. Just call it what it is. We need 8 in a row to give ourselves a chance to be in. Okay.
Mhm.
Boise, NC State, USC, all at home. We're not going on the road once. We're staying in South Bend. And if you realistically get through those games and you're sitting there 5-2 heading into the next bye week, you have a legitimate shot to go 5-0 the remaining 5 games, end up 10-2. And there's no doubt that I don't think we control our own destiny. But if you're 10-2 Notre Dame at the end after conference championship weekend, you are sitting there in contention. Do you need some help? I do think so. Do you need some style points coming down the stretch? I also think that is a yes to that answer. You need to look good, but you also need to win. If we have a couple close games coming down the stretch, but overall the offense is still scoring 40 plus points a game,
Mm,
I think a 10-game win streak Notre Dame with only 2 losses is going to have a pretty strong case. It,
yeah.
it it goes back to even the earlier days, BCS, 4-team college football playoff. It was always better to lose early. Like if you were going to drop a game, it was always better to lose early. So the fact of the matter is, if we are in contention, that means we rattled off 10 in a row and we're playing good football. And I think that if that's the case, then the Irish are going to be in a good spot to get into that playoff.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's again back to last year after we lost to Northern. Nobody, even Notre Dame fans, everybody around the country thought we were going to drop another one. We ended up running the table, got into the playoffs, and then had some of the biggest wins we've seen in 30 years. So, you know, credit to that team. And obviously every year's different. I've said it before on these episodes. That's why we love college football, because every year is different, and we're in the same situation. We didn't think we were going to be here, but here we are. So, what can Marcus Freeman do to get himself out of that hole? Well, to start it was to obviously beat Purdue, but then also when you're up 42-13, you go for a faked punt on your own 20-yard line and convert it. that's that's showing a type of mentality that you want to see after you've dropped those 2 games, right? You're you're playing with a certain mentality now because you dropped those 2 games. There's an urgency that you have to play with if you want to get to the point to make the playoff, right? You have to play a certain type of way. So,
Yeah, I remember on the TV copy of the game, they were showing like behind the punter looking towards the line, and I saw Jeremiah in there. And on a normal punt, he's not usually right there. Before I could even process what I was thinking, they snapped it to him. I said it's a fake. He ran out to the left. I thought he was just going to be a run. He pitches it to Faison coming around the edge. And then sure enough, Malachi Fields is running a little flag route. And Faison just, you said it when we were watching the game. He just is a do it all guy. He's a gamer, dude. He can throw it, run it, catch it, run punts back. Like he threw
Swiss Army knife
a
is a Swiss
dime on the run to Malachi, picks it up. And you're right. Like it is a mentality. I think Freeman has showed in three years and 4 games when his back is against the wall, he's a great coach. Like he really has processed these losses that he's taken really, really well. I mean, Marshall, NIU, Clemson, Stanford, starting 0-2 this year. Like, dude, he's had some pretty rough patches, like rough moments, rough stretches. But dude, the guy, he
He always
literally
makes up for it. Yeah.
he embodies everything that he talks about. Like, if you're going to lose, at least learn something from it. And I really truly feel like he just keeps a positive energy and aspect to him no matter what happens, whether we're making the title game or we're starting 0-2. He just he just stays so locked in and focused, and that's what like makes me so happy that he's leading our team right now.
Hmm. Yeah, because he's not just talk; he comes in with action and implements a certain type of. We come back to the same word, energy, or enthusiasm. It's when your team drops 2 at this to start the season with how good they are. That's not easy mentally with these young kids because at the end of the day, we got to remember these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. So
especially in the fashion that they lost. You know,
yeah, it wasn't by 40
Miami
points; it was four. It's not.
Miami was a tough loss. You have a bye week, you come home to A&M, you basically give them the game. They made plays, credit to them, but we Miami should have won the game. They earned it. Texas A&M earned it, but part of that win was we gave it to them. And the guys had to battle, dude. Then you come into Purdue, you got a 2-hour weather delay. They didn't care at all. They came back out as if nothing happened, played a super strong second half, only gave up 7 points in that second half. Then you go
Yeah.
down to Arkansas and do what you did there. So inevitably, every week is a momentum building block, and we have two of them right now,
Mhm.
literally knocked off. Like two momentum building blocks checked off. A green out game in Boise State coming up. I'm fired up, dude. One of the shows that I want to do with you this week is talking about CJ and the offense and how nice this is to see, considering what we've seen the last 10, 12, 15 years. Like this offense, dude, it almost feels like whatever the defense does, even if the defense does come out and have a clunker of a game, we will go shoot out toe for toe with anybody and we will put up points.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. We got a 4-game starter playing like a 4-year veteran, and CJ Carr. His IQ for the game is why he's where he's at, and his athleticism just speaks for itself. He's making all the throws that we want. He really doesn't put the ball in a bad spot too often, and that's what you want in a young QB. But to do it with the numbers he's had is, yeah, just a full other video. We could talk about it for a long time, but it's exciting. It's just unfortunate that you've had a defense that's dropped off the way it has. Um, and it's just Notre Dame, dude. That's the only word I can think of when you know look at the broad scale. You were expecting not too big of a drop off there, and you got the offense that we want, and it's only getting better. Again, this is week 3, and they're starting to do what they're doing. Um, you just have to get the defense back to where it was as quick as possible. Obviously, easier said than done. It's got to happen on the field, but made the right strides against Arkansas.
Made some big strides, and I think it's only going to continue. You know, we're a 20.5 point favorite against Boise. We've been heavy favorites before in the past
Mhm.
against lesser opponents. At the start of the season, you would think, all right, Boise was a playoff team last year. They're coming in. I just truly don't think that they're what they were before. They got torched by USF in week 1. They've had some good games, the last couple weeks, kind of building momentum back up, but we should take care of them. NC State's a 2-loss team as well. I really think that big kicker game is USC, but again, they've showed they don't like to come to the Midwest and play football. They want to sit up there and complain about it. You guys joined the Big Ten willingly. You went there on your own. You didn't have to do anything. So they don't like coming to play Midwest football. So when they come in October, night game at Notre Dame Stadium, we're going to be ready. So
I
I
hope
keep going
you
back to,
yeah, let a nice cold front rip through that weekend.
yeah, dude, get to 3-0 on this home stretch, 5-2 at the next bye week, and you are in prime position to make another run at it. And I'm telling you what, of course, we just have come off a 0-2 start. We've won 2 in a row. But you just kind of, as a fan, you just kind of start thinking about, well, what's possible here? Like, what is this going to look like?
Well, there's going to be more chaos within the rest of the season, not just
I
with
was
us,
I
but
was
other
just looking at the schedules for the next couple weeks. Absolutely
big
loaded.
matches.
You're
Yep.
like Indiana's got Oregon, not this weekend, but next weekend. That's going to be freaking awesome. Great
Hmm.
matchup. Like one of those teams is going to go down. Oregon looks really strong, but Indiana looks good too. They're kind of swaggy. Like they have a confidence about their program. And I'm not really a huge fan of Signetti, but they have a good confidence. around their program. And I'm pretty sure Oregon is going to them. So you know that that's going to be a good game. But you're
Yeah,
right. Everything's going to shake out. Teams are going to beat each other up. These conferences are going to eat each other alive. It's all good.
both of
And I'm
them.
telling you,
You see, all these teams that are highly ranked, a lot of them play each other still. So one of
yeah,
those teams
dude,
is either add one loss or two losses, and that's
yep,
football.
dude.
You know,
The more I think about it too, dude, 10-2 Notre Dame with this offense, healthy CJ Carr, healthy running back, uh,
dude,
backfield and O line, we
it's
are
all
going to be
about,
dangerous.
all about money. It's not even whether they should, but they're trying to make more money, and they know Notre Dame compared to teams like Arizona State or some of the not big brand schools but have a chance. Depending on their schedule, like they're going to put in Notre Dame if we're 10-2.
The, you know, 10-2, we're in contention. I don't think we're getting a home game at that. But if you're 10-2, the only thing I worry about is if there's enough undefeated one loss or two loss teams. Like if we're two loss, getting compared to Miami or A&M, of course, the head to head doesn't go our way for those. So, but I was looking at the rankings for last year, the last rankings. You didn't really have a whole lot of two loss teams that got left out.
Yep.
Bama was like the one team that was vying for a last spot. They were 9-3. They were a three-loss team. Miami was 10-2, but they lost, I think, two of their last three games. They they didn't finish the season strong. So with us going on a 10-game win streak, I'm telling you, if we're going on the road to play somebody in the playoffs, they're not going to want to see us.
I can do it.
They're not
Our
going to want to
defense,
see us,
I
dude.
know our defense is only going to get better. I know that for a fact. So, in our offense, the way it's playing right now, we're a team that you have to scheme differently defensively because you have to stop the throw now for us. So,
Yep.
we got
Yep.
dudes. We got dudes.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting finish to the season. Going up the South Bend. Connor and I were there for the Purdue game. Energy was high. Like it, it may
For an
not have
old
felt like it the
team,
whole day,
yeah,
but like energy was up. Stadium was full before the rain delay. This is just where the program is at. Whether we're 0-2, 1-1, undefeated, we know that we have a good program, good staff, and a great roster that is not going to quit. And
mhm,
that's one of the most telling things, I think. And these these next few games here are really going to show like, all right, we're locked in. We know what's in front of us. And if we do what we need to do, we can make this happen.
yep, yep. One play, one game at a time, man. That's how we did it last year. Didn't
One
get
play,
too,
one life.
didn't get too ahead of ourselves, and just knew every game you had to come with that mentality that you're not going to lose. So
Yep.
just got to do that every game, and this team's good enough to do it. It's not like they're not. So just have
Yep.
to, manifest it and make it happen.
Yep. So we'll see, man. Quarter of the way through the season, it goes by super fast. We knew that it would. The good news is we got eight regular season games left, but a quarter of the season is gone. 2-2. Irish are maybe not necessarily in control of their own destiny, but they know what's in front of them to get to where they need to get to, and that's the playoffs. Going on the type of run that you did last year, it's playoffs or bust. If you don't make the playoffs, then your year was a bust. You either need to go on the road or host a playoff game, opposed to being in the Frosted Flakes or Pop Tarts Bowl. Like we
Yeah.
are elevating beyond that now. We're not playing in the Sun Bowl anymore.
No.
So, but dude, overall, good catching up with you. It's been a little while since we hopped on, but good to share some thoughts. Of course, guys, if you like our videos, like, comment, subscribe. We know there's a lot of Notre Dame content out there, but we're two fans, brothers from South Bend, Indiana. It does not get any more diehard than what Connor and I feel every single Saturday of the fall, and every year, the whole year. Like, we feel it, we live it, we breathe it. So if you like our videos, like, comment, subscribe, throw some comments in there, get us riled up. We're happy about it.
Yeah. Put in some topics that you might want to hear about or what you want us to talk about, and we're more than welcome to share our thoughts. But
100%.
yeah, I'm excited for these next couple weeks and get through these next 3, and there's a real good chance that we make that push.
I think so too. Well, it starts this weekend with Boise. It's a green out. Get your green jersey out. Let's put it on.
Yeah, should we do a quick prediction how we think that game's going to go, or save that for a video?
Let's save that for the end of the week. It's only
All right,
Tuesday now, so I want to do a quarterback video, and then we'll do a prediction video too.
sounds good.
All right. Well, stay tuned for that, everybody. We'll have a quarterback preview for you, and then a preview and prediction for Boise coming in 3:30 on Saturday on
Yeah,
NBC. So we'll pack that stadium with green and send the Broncos home with a loss.
that's right.
All right, man. Good stuff. I'll talk to you later, dude.
Yep. Go Cubs and go Irish.
Go Irish.